Hi, sister. I am so excited to announce an offering that is birthing from Sanctuary of Sophia this fall. This is something that I have been tending to and have been spiritually pregnant with for over a year now, and it's finally time. It's finally here. And this is unlike anything that I've ever created or shared or offered before. And it is holding teachings that I've never shared before. So it feels really special to me. And I'm so excited to begin to extend the invitation out to you to see if this is calling to you. So I'm so excited to share that WombVision is going to be opening this fall inside Sanctuary of Sophia. WombVision is a leadership and legacy medicine mind. This is the mastermind for solar feminine Christ leaders of the new earth. This is truly a mystery school and a mastermind coming into this sovereign weaving of feminine arts with the intention to truly co-create with God's divine will and to become free of everything that is not organic to the true birthing of what you're here to create. So this is a space where we are going to come together as women and we're going to be immersed in the organic womb flow of Holy Mother, of her living waters that are here to truly birth the new earth through the resurrection of Sophia, of Holy Mother, through us, and what we're here and appointed for and assigned to create, right? So we all have different mantles and assignments that God has placed upon our hearts and in our wombs of what we're here to create in a new way. And WombVision is here to support that. The grid itself of WombVision is unlike anything I've ever created before. I have been preparing for this, not just over the last year, but God has taken me on this journey over the last 5 years, really into the belly of the beast, to see what women of the Grail, of the Rose lineage, of the feminine Christ lineages of Sophia are really up against when it comes to creating something from their hearts and their wombs, and what we have to endure and overcome in order to truly birth in a sovereign way from the womb with our feminine essence. And so, unlike other women entrepreneurs that maybe have created successful businesses in different sectors and have done different things, we're coded differently. So if you resonate with me, my medicine, my frequency, if you feel connected to the Rose lineage and the Grail, Mary Magdalene, Sophia, and the Sophianic essence of the Holy Mother, more than likely you are connected into the Sophianic lineages. And so your architecture, your coding, and how you're meant to actually create is different than a sister who isn't coded. This isn't a hierarchy thing. It's just a part of the spiritual light body experience of those of us that are meant to create and birth new structures, systems, and art and ways of, serving the world that haven't existed before. We are receiving our organic templating from God and birthing in a new way. So, this is just, it's of a magnitude that we can't understand yet. When God, oh my gosh, it's so big. Like I feel it in my body. When God guided me into this and I felt it, I could feel how big it was, which is why I've been tending to it for over a year now. And I didn't know when it was going to come forward. And then through a series of events and with me resurrecting the Renaissance architecture of Sophia here in Charleston upon my return after my grid work mission, God began to say it's time for WombVision to come forward from the Renaissance grid, right? Because the feminine Christ Renaissance, what even is that, right? Like when I say that, what is that? It is the new way of existing in the world as the feminine Christ, free of persecution, free of hybridization, free of bondage, where the feminine Christ can truly be liberated and create with her priestess and oracle medicine woman gifts, with her divine feminine gifts, where she is compensated abundantly for her gifts, not in a way that is distorted or is hooked into the spirit of mammon, which we'll get to that inside WombVision, but in a way where it is safe to receive abundantly for your gifts and to create an offering that is so impactful, so meaningful, and supports others so deeply that, of course, God is going to bless you abundantly for it, where it is safe to be paid for your gifts. It is safe to create something that is held and protected and covered by God. And where you come into a space of spiritual authority, where your ministry, your business, your service offerings, right? And for some of you that have come into Temple Legacy building with me, your temple space are covered by God and are operating under God's authority and God's kingdom rather than in the fallen systems of the world. So inside WombVision, I'm going to be teaching you how to unlock your own organic templating, how to create from your womb and to receive offerings, to conceive offerings and to tend to them and to birth them, and then to go through the process, of course, of launching them, which is the spiritual initiation. And as well as all of these other different mystery school teachings of Sophia, of holding a feminine Christ business and to be in a place of leadership around all aspects of receiving money through the structure, the architecture that is your business or your ministry or however you refer to it, right? You know, I shared this story. I went from having a business to having a ministry, and the templating changed for me. But in any way, you get to architect it. You get to design it with God as the architect of your business, of your ministry, of how you're here to serve. And to be able to be in a womb flow, which is the organic creation flow from the Godhead to your womb, and to be in that womb flow with God where you are in such harmony and relationship with God that your offerings cannot be touched in terms of warfare or like the essence of like failure, and not failure and like, oh, I went through that and I learned a lot from that, right? Because we're always learning within this space, right? We're always learning how to be better facilitators, to be better mentors, to be better healers, right? We're always learning how to create a better experience for our clients, right? And for me, like, I want the women like you who are coming into Sanctuary of Sophia to have an amazing experience from the time that you find me, you know, on social media or my website or YouTube or whatever, to the time that you say like, yes, I'm going to invest in myself and I'm going to come into the Sanctuary Temple and I'm going to receive from Malaysia and I'm going to work with her and I'm going to be supported by her. And I understand what it is like to invest money and time and resources into someone who's teaching you how to run your business, how to operate or attend to your ministry, right? All the wording is changing here, right? Because of course, what we speak over our business is what we are coding it with. And so I have made so many investments. I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into my own development as a business owner, as someone with an online business and also an in-person business. Of course, I had my own healing space before I went on the road, and now I'm starting to do in-person experiences again, as well as online offerings and containers. And I've really gone into so much of all of this, and I've seen how much what's out there actually doesn't work for the feminine Christ. And so as I've been creating WombVision and recording all the mystery school teachings that are a part of it and architecting it, God made something very clear to me today. That is why I'm coming on here to record this and eventually share it with you is, this is the solar feminine Christ mastermind. This is holding the architecture for the solar feminine Christ lineages to be able to architect their businesses and their offerings from the organic foundation of Christ Sophia. And that's, of course, what we're doing inside Sanctuary of Sophia and all my containers, right? This is a feminine Christ temple. It is here to support the women of the Sophianic lineages in all aspects of their journey of divine feminine reclamation. from womb healing to personal power to grid work, right? To becoming embodied medicine women and oracles and priestesses and my priestess and medicine women training to now business creation and being able to receive wealth, hold wealth, steward wealth, speak commanding spiritual authority declarations over your business to really truly birth what you are here to birth and doing it in a way that is fun, it's multidimensional, it's practical, and strengthening your leadership and strengthening your personal power because business ownership and having a soul-based business, it's about leadership. And when you're not in your power or your leadership, or you're not trusting yourself, or you're not fully confident in what you're doing, that can show up in your business, of course. And here's the thing, what I'm going to teach you is what God has initiated me into so deeply that now I know every time I put out an offering, it's because there's a woman who's ready to come into it. I know that every offering that God gives me is going to be successful because it's coming from the Godhead and it's coming into my womb and I'm birthing with God in an organic way. Before I was doing that, before God taught me and I went through all these initiations, I didn't have that architecture. I didn't have those belief systems. And I didn't know how to organically birth with God in a way where it's always successful and it's always supportive and it's always impactful and miracles are always flowing to my clients and blessing them and they're receiving all the gifts because that's what I've prayed for them and how I've architected my containers. So if you've ever journeyed with me, you know that miracles just come in for you through my offerings because I've architected it that way. It's designed that way, and you can design it that way too for yourself. So I just felt called to come on and just speak a little about WombVision because while of course you'll see, you know, the details below in the sales page of everything that's on it, what's included, what is this, right? And it's like this space is going to completely like eradicate all poverty consciousness from your field. Like you cannot be a match to poverty consciousness, lack, scarcity, doubt, any of those things. They don't exist inside WombVision. They can't. And so we're going to be clearing all of that. And we're also going to be clearing hybridization, which is, of course, the stealing of codes, the mimicry of codes, architecture, offerings, branding, everything. We're going to be clearing that. And I'm going to be sharing some really deep medicine around that because I have gone through it so many times, and God's really initiated me where I've held conversations and faced women who have, you know, taken my content, copy pasted my stuff, presented it as their own, have actually tried to mimic and invert the entire structure of Sanctuary of Sophia and birth it as their own. And I've held space for the conversations instead of just, you know, shutting it down, blocking, whatever. I've actually held space for these conversations with women because it's part of my assignment. I didn't know this at the time. It was really intense, right? But it's part of my assignment to support women in healing from this and being able to have the difficult conversations, to be in your leadership, and to also, you know, not judge the experience of what happens, but to hold space and also to reclaim your quanta and your power around this. And knowing that you have organic templates and you have organic architecture and instructions that God has for you, where you get to create in a way that's aligned to your gifts, how you best create, you know, your womb flow, and all of that's going to unlock in this container. So if you have been trying to create a soul business, if you've already have created one, but it doesn't feel fully aligned, and you want to truly create in the Sophianic way, in a womb-led way that really allows you to step into your highest timeline of new earth entrepreneurship and kingdom wealth, honestly, to understand organic wealth transfer and to break free of Babylonian money curses and the spirit of mammon. We're going to be going through that. It's going to be a huge deliverance to break free of mammon. When I broke free of the spirit of mammon, everything in my financial aspects of my ministry changed. And yeah, it's a huge piece that isn't talked about that I'm going to be sharing in this space. And we're also going to go into all of the mystery school teachings around how to actually tend to a feminine Christ offering, how to build a container energetically and etherically, how to have the energetic structures for your LLC and your bank accounts and like your systems that you use and all the technology, right? Because something that I've made clear before and that I'll say here now again is I do not use Chat GPT or AI tools for anything in my business in my ministry because it's not aligned for me with my architecture. I'm here to speak and to be the oracle and to allow Holy Mother to speak through me. And if I put that through a processing, whatever it is, tool like ChatGPT or through an AI thing to like restructure it, it completely distorts it and it hybridizes it. And we're not here to do that as women of the feminine Christ lineages. It's not a match. We're here to actually bring our organic source coding forward. And so much of the online coaching matrix, especially, it is a matrix. And I wrote a whole post about this. It's linked from the link below. You can read it if you haven't yet. It's designed to hybridize women like us and to take all of our content, our ideas, things that if women are being guided to put it into Chat GPT, it's designed to take that and to invert it and then to put it in places that it doesn't need to be. And so I'm going to teach you how to actually create offerings and speak from your medicine stream that will magnetize who you're meant to work with so they can find you. And I'm also going to teach you some phenomenal God ordained belief systems that are going to revolutionize how you operate your ministry, your business, how people find you, how people pay you, how God will bring in people out of thin air, how God will actually guide people to you in the most mysterious, beautiful ways. I'm going to teach you about all of this. And this is something that God has deeply initiated me into and wants me to bring forward now because there are so many women who are being called forward to show up in service for their communities. Because as we continue through the global ascension process, more and more people, millions of people are going to be waking up and they're going to need you because you're the way shower. If you're here, you're a way shower. You're part of this wave of us going first and ascending into our higher stations of identity to be able to serve. And so however it is you're serving, whether if you're, a healer, a teacher, you're a mentor, you're here to teach about health or spirituality or healing, if you're here to hold retreats or if you're here to, sell your beautiful offerings or your jewelry or, your medicine gifts, however you're here to serve, we're going to uncover that and we're going to unlock that and we're going to start to really allow God in a way that hasn't happened yet. And this field that we're in co-creating together, the WombVision container and the grid itself is intended, destined, and designed and ordained to create an impact unlike anything I've ever seen. When God showed me the impact of WombVision, I was like sobbing because I've never seen anything so impactful and so vast. So I know that God has positioned me to create this experience, to create this journey for women like you who are destined to create an impact that none of us can comprehend yet, truly. And so this is a mystery school and it's a mastermind. It's a medicine mind, right? The medicine of the Holy Mother is going to flow through. You're going to receive mentorship from me and you're going to receive teachings that are really going to set you up for success. I want your business to be successful. I want your ministry to be successful. I want you to be in your power. And like I've shared in previous teachings, like I am not threatened by your power. I have my own gifts, my own templates, my own destiny assignments. I'm not here to hybridize or take from you. And I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to put your heart and soul out there and to be in this deep process with God and birth something and then have someone take it, distort it, invert it, mimic it, and what that is like. And so I feel it's very important for me to be clear because, the feminine Christ coding is the most targeted coding and the most hybridized coding in the universe, right? That's why so many of us have to go through soul retrieval, body part reclamations, all of these things, womb healing. Oh my gosh, so much around the womb when it comes to actually birthing what we're here to birth. Like we have to do all of this multidimensional field work as part of the process because we have to reclaim what's ours. And I'm here to help you do that. Just yesterday, I was supporting one of my private clients in a session, and I removed a womb implant from her that was a very ancient draconian implant. And after I removed this piece that had been creating so much physical pain for her, I cleared it out, and this massive, massive soul aspect came back. It was like I was meeting her for the first time again. And I was like, welcome back, sister, because that part of her had been held hostage in that timeline, in that from the implant. And it's like, she's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm finally coming back. Right. And this is what happens. This is what happens when we start reclaiming. So we're going to be doing a lot of reclamation work in WombVision. We're going to be doing a lot of healing. We're going to be doing a lot of ceremonial work, activation. It's like, we're just going to have the time of our lives. Honestly, it's going to be so much fun, and it's going to stretch you. It's going to create a space within your own field and journey for you to really step into the leadership aspects of yourself that maybe you've been resisting or shying away from. And I'm here to call you forward and say and hold the faith wave for you, right? Holding the faith for you of knowing what you're destined here to create and knowing that you can receive and be paid abundantly for it. We are not meant to overgive and be depleted. That is an old construct. And this experience is going to call you forward into truly being able to receive your divine inheritance, because you're going to break off all of the money bondage. I never anticipated teaching about this particular piece, but I've been through it. I have gone through it where I literally had $0 in my bank account, zero clients, and had to figure it out. And my womb and God is what allowed me to then create a really successful business and ministry. It's so funny because that's like I refer to like the past versions of it as my business and then on my ministry. So I'm still merging. It's a whole process. But yeah, and what it feels like to experience a 5-figure cash month and to be able to hold that in my body and receive that, and to continue to serve and also have offerings available for every woman who is a match to me at whatever stage that she's at, you know? So if you're just beginning your entrepreneurial journey and you're like, I know I'm here to birth something, I know I'm here to be paid for my offerings, this is for you. If you have been on your journey, if you already have a soul-based business, but you know that you're not meant to create in the ways that you've been taught, and you have resistance around marketing or selling certain ways, or using AI, or using systems and structures that don't feel aligned for you, but you know there's a better way and it feels feminine and with God and it feels aligned and natural for you. If you can feel that, this is for you. I'm telling you, sister, there's a better way. And the things that you feel icky about, you don't have to do those things. The things that feel like you would rather pull your hair out than do something like that, it's not meant for you. That's not how you're meant to do it. I was trained and like programmed to believe that business had to be a certain way. And it was really hard. And I felt so sad because I was like, I don't want to do it this way, but I don't know how to do it. And so God took me on this journey over the last 5 years. I have invested so much time, energy, money, tears, blood, sweat, and tears around all of this. And I am absolutely thrilled to be able to compile all of this, bring it forward, because it is for women like us who are here to do something new and different. And that's not throwing shame or disrespect on any other, coach or mentor that's doing things in a different way. Everyone is a match to receiving the architecture that is destined for them. And if you are here to resurrect your inner Sophia, your inner Christ, if you are here to create with God and to do it in a way that operates under God's kingdom and true new earth system structures and cosmic sovereign law, then this is the space for you. It's time. It's time. So I'm going to drop the link below. You can read all about WombVision. This is an application-based container because it is going to be a small, intimate group. And I want to make sure we're an aligned fit. So if you are called, there's an application that's going to be really activating for you and give you clarity on things. And also know that, there are no rules around this in terms of how you can create and how your womb wants to create. This is about listening to your womb and feeling like, how do I want to birth? How does my womb want to birth? How does God want me to birth my offerings? And really listening to that. How does my soul desire to create? What's the experience I want to have? Am I open and available to receiving a new, better way to do this? If you can give yourself permission to step into your womb flow and to open things up and to allow God to show you who you really are as a successful woman who's here to birth beauty and art and create an impact in a way that her ancestors would be smiling down on her and know that, like, you are the living lineage. Your legacy is that. And your offerings are here to change the world and to create a better world for our children and for humanity. The feminine Christ, she is the leader of a sovereign way of being, of birth and creation. And inside WombVision, we're really going to spend time taking inventory and feeling into, how am I being a conscious, sovereign co-creator? What am I contributing to the world? How am I impacting people's lives? How is my voice influencing others? When I share, how does it impact someone? Am I letting God move through me and allowing God to use me as a sacred instrument of change and love? And whatever is not aligned to this beautiful vision for how you desire to create will be released. And so this, of course, is a transformational journey. You're not going to be the same woman as you come in. It's just, you're going to change, you're going to be different. And it's going to be a beautiful process of transformation. This work cannot not transform you. And your whole life is gonna transform over this 4 months. And yeah, it's just going to keep on gifting you. So anyway, I'm just so excited. And if you're feeling called, I'd love to invite you to check it out. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. We're going to begin in November and we're going to complete in February. We're going to have a beautiful winter solstice cacao ceremony. I'm really excited about that. It's actually going to be a whole online ceremonial retreat. It's going to be a whole day. It's going to be really special. Yeah, you'll find out more when you come in. But yeah, and then there's also a beautiful VIP option as well, where we can do deeper work together inside the container one-to-one. And then also I'm offering a VIP experience with me here in Charleston. And that's also going to be really special, really activating. We'll get to go to Daniel Island, and that's where I birthed Sanctuary of Sophia. And it's a true paradise island of the Holy Mother. And Charleston itself is holding the Renaissance architecture. So if you are guided as well and you want to go deeper with me and come see me here in Charleston, that is also available to you. So excited, and blessings on your womb flow, sister. Know that you are divinely supported and only you can birth your offerings, and they are destined to be successful. So much love and blessings. I'll see you next time.